What's going on, everybody? This is Philip from Mo Essence, and today let's talk about white CBG. Now, the reason why we're kind of bringing everything up is because white CBG and the scarcity is very rare of how much CBG is actually in cannabinoids. And why is there so much scarcity with white CBG? Well, if you research white CBG just for a couple of, just by isolating a little bit of its properties, it actually costs more because white CBG, there's little amounts of it inside of cannabinoid plants, and its counterparts like THC, also CBD it doesn't have that much of a cannabinoid property. Now, white CBG is rare inside of cannabinoid plants, and you can barely even obtain it because it's so small of a quantity. If you get a lot of it, it actually has more healing properties because of its they call it non-euphoric properties, because it has a non-psychoactive ingredient inside of cannabinoids that actually lessens when you're very high, or you have like these sensations when you're gurgitating toward smoking marijuana. Now, when you're thinking about white CBG, a lot of people say, how can I access it? Where can we get it? And what does it actually do? Now, white CBG acts just like any cannabinoid, like tetrahydrocannabinol or CBD in general. This is going to heal bone pain. This is going to get rid of addictions. This is going to help with glaucoma. This is going to help with anxiety and also depression. There's a lot of things. There's really no inside of cannabinoids when you're dealing with white CBG. Now, unlike when you're dealing with euphoric plants, now white CBG, why is it so important at this day and time, is because a lot of people wake up in the morning with central nervous disorders. Now, one thing I like about white CBG is giving it to people with PTSD, because you get a lot of people in this lifetime that goes through psychological issues, mental problems. White CBG helps out with a lot of those people that comes at me and say, "Hey Phil, I've been rocking with you for quite some time. I love Dr. Sabi, but please help me out with something that has high alleviational ingredients, properties," and that's going to be the white CBG. You can barely find this. I mean, just for like 3 to 4 ounces, it's about $100, because, like I said, the white CBG inside of the cannabinoid plant. Now, what makes this so reluctant is that we, as people, we actually have a cannabinoid system, but we also have these prior defects in our life that we don't be live and attended to heal. So we all know about smoking weed. We all know about CBD. We all can say, as young people in this generation, older people in this generation, Googling or being in school or class or on the streets, we can all say, "Oh, I know about the cannabinoid system," but do you know the effects of how much, when you're putting a lot of concentration of cannabinoids that actually stick to fat cells, cannabinoids that are kind of a little bit more detrimental if you use them outside of moderation, rather than a cannabinoid that actually cleanses and detoxifies not only your blood and your nerves. You don't catch a lot of cannabinoids that can do that as far as this industry and also as far as healing. So white CBG, I would gravitate toward it because, like I was saying, the PTSD, healing the cannabinoid system in the body that's located in the central nervous system, it's very heartwarming, because it's like everybody on the block, everybody in the cities, the islands, the different countries around the whole world, even if you're living on sea, I don't care if you're living on land, there are problems with our brain that deals with these abnormalities when it comes to having cognitive disabilities. Now, a cognitive disability is when your brain, in essence, cannot tap into your central nervous system and act accordingly to your thoughts. That's when people wake up with headaches, always angry, always stressed out. I believe as a human, we should be able to have a calming life. If you can't calm down, even with the kids, or you can't calm down with your wife, your girlfriend, or if you can't calm down with your husband or boyfriend, you can't calm down with your friends, you obviously have a mental problem. Now, one thing I do rock with is with properties that come from white CBG is how rare it is and how hard is it to obtain and finding an authentic kind. Now, the marijuana industry knows about this. You know what I'm saying? We all know about how we have been so fortunate to be on an herbal side of life. But when it comes to cannabinoids and already having a cannabinoid system, I think if we sit here and we actually study white CBG for a lot of those calming and nervine effects, I think it'll be well worth it, especially for those that have schizophrenia, PTSD, depression, sadness, anger, and we all know what that means when it comes to people and their polarity of saying like a lot of these things kind of tamper with our ability of thinking. So I just want to be a person that actually, talks about how this information rolls and how we can be very mindful about, getting our stability and our mind together. And this is Philip from Mo. Y'all check out White CBD, y'all.